As Donald Trump is running around this country doing fake appearances in black cities. He was here in Atlanta at the Chick-fil-A as he's going to black churches, surrounding himself with black Koonsmen like Byron Donalds and Tim Scott, as he goes from city to city with his KKK rallies and inviting black rappers up onto the stage so he can be seen with them. He stopped in Philly at some point this past weekend. Yeah. And was accompanied by some black rapper, starts with the Q, never heard of him, don't care, right? He stopped at some place in the hood where there's a bunch of white people cheering on his arrival, right? As he's doing all of this at the black church, speaking to a full white crowd. You got black people sprinkled in here and there, the people that he paid to be at that church, right? As he's doing all of these clown activities, trying to give the impression that black people will be voting, will be flocking to the voting booth to vote for him. Rachel Maddow broke this thing down, and I wanted to share it with you.
But he goes to this black church in Detroit, and his campaign does not take any steps to avoid the pews being completely filled with white people, with white Trump supporters. Then on the day, the message of his supposed campaign is that he's trying to appeal to black voters, right? That's the whole point of doing this photo op. He then goes straight from that venue, stuffed with white people, to a conference hosted by this guy who has been in the news for the last few months for saying, quote, "We made a huge mistake when we passed the Civil Rights Act in the 1960s, saying that he thinks black people are not qualified to be airline pilots, that he worries if he's on a flight and sees that the pilot is black, who has been posting things like, quote, whiteness is great on social media, who has been hosting guests on his podcast to talk about how black people are inherently biologically inferior and incapable of advanced intelligence. Someone who said literally MLK, meaning Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., quote, MLK was awful, not a good person. So on the day, your campaign message is, hey, black voters, look at me. Aren't I appealing? Going from the black church that's inexplicably full of white people right from there to go be with, to go do an appearance with the MLK was awful and the Civil Rights Act was a mistake guy. If that's how you're running your campaign, you are not trying very hard in normal campaign terms. But they are not trying very hard in normal campaign terms. They're not trying very hard to compete on normal political appeals. What they are trying to do instead is take power by menacing and chasing out of the country anyone who opposes their leader.
Black people, I don't know about you, but I'm sick of these racists playing in my face and playing in y'all's face. I am pissed off to the highest of festivity. I'm sick of the Koonsmen playing in our face, of the Koonsmen allowing these racists to use them to try to hook us into the BS. I'm sick of all of them playing in my face. And I will make it known when I get into that voting booth in November. I hope y'all would do the same.